Now, interesting one for us to cover, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Something of an anomaly in the film franchise. Departed completely from the Michael Myers stories and focused on this kind of voodoo thing. In fact, bollocks, I'll just show you a bit of the trailer. Here goes.
I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. A joke on the children. But there's a better reason. You don't really know much about Halloween. Halloween. Between the real and the unreal. The dead might be looking in.
You've got to believe me!
The last great one took place 3,000 years ago when the hills ran red. Witchcraft.
So yeah, like I say, this one, unlike the previous two films in the series, started a new thing and focused on completely new storyline where you've basically got these masks that are being sold to children. They've got something inside of them that connects to Stonehenge, and through that all this evil stuff gets channeled and the kids get killed in it. It's really kind of unrelenting. Not the best film, but it has its cult following, so that's what we're going to talk about here today. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch from 1982.
Welcome to Brand X Reviews. This one we are going to be talking about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Definitely the best of the Halloween series, like the rest are all shit. This is the good one.
Yeah, you're not far off, to be fair, but it's
No,
a bit...
I think the first one is the good one.
Well, yeah. But you're not that far off, because I've seen worse franchise. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking about, obviously a lot of people know the general idea of Halloween 3. I don't think we need to explain exactly the premise of this, but this is the one where it's the odd one out, basically. Anyone more familiar with the Fast and Furious franchise might kind of see a similarity between this film and Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift. It was one that was intended to be kind of a standalone, although that film did have some connection. This one kind of goes out of its way to set itself up as being not even in the same universe. It's an anthology series they were attempting to go with.
Yeah, that was the idea from the kind of onset. It'd be like a different Halloween story each film. So there was never any intention for Michael Myers, the Shape, to return. But they kind of fucked that up by making Halloween 2 be about Michael Myers, and then suddenly it's yep, there's something completely different. It's people just aren't going to understand that,
Yeah. It was just kind of a desire to obviously use that brand name, but lack of ideas, and kind of John Carpenter getting forced to... I think he was producer on this. At the very least, he wrote Halloween 2, or partly wrote it. Whereas this one, it was Tommy Lee Wallace who directed the 1990 Stephen King's It film, and he's done a few other things as well. I think this was his first film that he directed, but he wrote it as well. And you can see some alright ideas in this, but it's definitely a B movie. It's not got the same kind of standard that the original Halloween had. If you're a hardcore John Carpenter fan, obviously from an artistic point of view, I don't think there's any input in this. But apart from the music, which I'll get into, don't know if you can see it in the background. I've got the soundtrack on record. I'll show you that in a bit because it's a really nice item. Is this the soundtrack to Halloween 3 is an absolute belter. It's basically, it sounds like a cross between a Christine score, which I think came out the year after, and the Thing score, which came out the same year, 1982. This film came out in 1982. So the score is kind of like a combination of those, and those are two really good scores. So obviously this one is, and it kind of heightens the film a little bit, but not enough. I would say average.
It was also a little bit weird because I'm pretty sure it's got at least one scene where they're watching a TV and there's the original Halloween film on it. It's that film kind of exists in this universe, but it's a film, not something that actually happened.
It felt to me like that was just an excuse to get the Halloween theme in the movie, so they couldn't put the actual theme in as the part of the score, so they show a trailer for Halloween with the music playing in it. It's kind of a nice nod, but it's got a bit of a sort of cult status as this film. I can kind of understand it. It's one that I will rewatch, but obviously in the context, I know it's kind of so bad it's good at best.
Yeah, I come down from the angle of like it's so bad that it's bad.
Yeah, it's like I say, got certain little elements. It's got Tom Atkins in it as well, who we talked about from Night of the Creeps, and he's somebody who worked with John Carpenter a couple of times. I know he was in The Fog, and he was in Escape from New York as well. And interestingly, he was. Forgot to kind of mention this, but he was in Night of the Creeps, which was written by Shane Black, and obviously Shane Black wrote Lethal Weapon. He actually intended on Tom Atkins being Riggs in Lethal Weapon. I kind of forgot to mention that in the Night of the Creeps video, but that's quite interesting. But yeah, pretty good actor. You don't really see him in a lot of stuff, other than kind of genre movies. But yeah, if you look on IMDb, reviews of this film aren't kind. Pretty much as like a 4.9 out of 10. I give it a 5 out of 10, which is pretty much the same. That's my kind of average. Average
So I'd
score.
probably give it a 3 or a 4, but then again, I'm pretty harsh on this film. I mean, I would say for anybody thinking of watching it, just be aware your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
Like if it it connects you on the right level, it's kind of fun. But if not, you'd be like, this is a bag of shit.
So the concept of it, obviously, you've got these masks that are being sold, and there's 3 of the masks that are in it, and they're basically
Halloween masks. I've got mine ready. Yep. I'm going to watch the advert, and then my face is going to melt.
Well, that was to protect you from the Topher. But
it won't be very good protection. There are no like glass things in the eye slots, so it won't really protect me.
Yes. But there are 3 masks in it, and they're known as the Halloween 3. So you can kind of look at the film as rather than being the 3rd film in a franchise. You kind of look at it on its own and say that's why it's Halloween 3. A stretch, if you wanted to make that.
Yeah, that is a pretty big stretch, but yeah.
Yeah. So in these masks, there's like a tiny piece of Stonehenge that's in it, and there's some kind of like voodoo ritual that's being done to kill loads of people. And the children that are wearing them when they're exposed to this TV advert that plays this music, basically countdown to Halloween kind of thing, isn't it? And
yeah, the Silver Shamrock. Like seriously, that song will just fucking torment you forever. It gets in your head, it never goes away again.
He's actually on the soundtrack as well. In fact, I'll kind of get that out while I'm talking. But so obviously that advert does set off this power to the mask, and it kind of like melts the kids' like heads, and then out of that comes a lot of like snakes and like killer insects that kill anyone around them.
Very weird and not that well explained, but yeah.
Yeah, kind of weird. But that's the hype.
They've also got like killer robots as well.
Yeah, was that
it's sort of like out of place that you kind of forget they're there, and you're like, wait, no shit, it's like a plot with it, like robots.
Yeah, these kind of like Men in Black type characters that are following around the Tom Atkins character, and he teams up with this girl, and doesn't she turn out to be one of them because he like cuts her head off or something?
Yeah, I can't remember if she's supposed to have been one all along or if she gets like replaced during it.
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling to remember that detail. Like I say, I'm not going too. I'm not like avoiding spoilers, but I don't remember the film that well enough to spoil it. But yeah, in the soundtrack you get this pretty cool card game. There's these 3 games, and there's like a list with the rules, and you've got these various different cards. Kind of weird. If I've shown you on, and there's that as well. And you put them on the ground, you play some kind of weird game, and it's got the Silver Shamrock logo as well. Don't know which side I'm going to be on because obviously we're doing a split screen. But yeah, pretty cool. And inside that you get this inner sleeve, and the actual record itself is green. I'll do it without touching it. The actual record itself is green, and it's got the Silver Shamrock logo as well, which is pretty cool. Because the soundtrack to this, like I say, is like way better than the film itself. When I say soundtrack, I mean the actual score. I think that is kind of like a bit of a selling point if that kind of thing interests you. If you're a fan of John Carpenter's scores, this is a good one. But that's really the only positive thing I've got to say about the film. The rest of it is kind of average at best.
Well, I definitely would not argue with you on that one. The score is like pretty good. Pretty much, it's something you can bank on with like a Carpenter film usually.
Yeah, I mean, I say because somebody's going to pick me up on this and say, "You do know the thing? It wasn't John Carpenter the score; it was Ennio Morricone." I know, but it was a John Carpenter score. It was pretty much Ennio Morricone, like channeling John Carpenter, because the score to this is very similar to the thing. But yeah, it's got a bit of a cult following. This, in kind of a weird way. I wouldn't say I'm part of it. Well, I do have the film. I have all the Halloween films, even Resurrection, but that was because Paul Cage gave me the entire Halloween collection a few years ago, and asked me to review them. So I suppose this one's for you, Paul, if you're watching this. Ooh. Having more recent times bought Halloween 3 on Blu-ray because the DVD I seem to remember like being like so bad quality, and if you're gonna watch a film like this, I don't know, I'd rather watch a film on Blu-ray. But it's multi-region from what I understand. I actually played this one yet because I've only just bought it, so it should play on a UK player, but it hasn't got. It's not a UK Blu-ray, so I don't even know if the standard is proper HD. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this film. It's just like I say, it's kind of the odd one out. I think it's fair to say a lot of people's criticism of it is a bit lame. Because I mean, you've criticised it on its own merits. So I'm not saying about you, but a lot of people criticise it as the one that doesn't have Michael Myers in, and that's why it's bad. I don't think that's the problem. They could have done like a good film, a better film than they did, not like rushed it out.
Yeah, I mean, like, the film's storyline is kind of all over the place. It's got like a lot of really weird stuff. It's like, okay, you brought Stonehenge. Like, how the fuck has nobody noticed that Stonehenge has gone missing? And how the hell are you going to like guarantee there's going to be like all these kids buying these like pretty lame Halloween masks and all sitting around to watch this like advert at a certain time on Halloween night? It's like, I don't know, maybe things were different back then, but I think that'd be a hard sell nowadays.
Yeah, and it's got the guy that was in RoboCop. Was he the head of OCP or whatever?
Yeah. After he got kicked out of OCP in RoboCop 3, he had some very weird plans. He kind of put in motion. It's like, no, look, you got to go. We've got to sack. What the fuck was that Silver Shamrock thing like? Got?
Yeah, but he was
with RoboCop 2, like, as in the actual character RoboCop 2. It was this.
Yeah, but he was known as the old man in RoboCop. You might remember him, and he's in this film as well. He's kind of like the bad guy of the film. He's kind of like the cigarette smoking man from the X-Files in this movie. But he's been in a few films. He was in Enemy Mine, I seem to remember as well. Not Enemy Mine. He was in The Last Starfighter. Sorry, I'm getting two things confused there. But yeah, I think he's memorable in it. But he was good in this, I thought. Anyway, he kind of played a kind of creepy, kind of satanic leader in the whole thing.
I mean, if more work had been put into this, it actually made more sense. It probably still wouldn't have done great because, like I say, people were just like not understood. So it's like, well, wait, it's a Halloween film. Like the last two have all been about Michael Myers, and this one's about weird Halloween masks.
Yeah.
If you put a little bit more work into it and not called it Halloween, it could have like stood happily amongst other like John Carpenter films. Like, I know this isn't John, isn't really a John Carpenter film, but you know what I mean.
It could have been if it had wanted it to have been, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's
like this could have been a lot better, but unfortunately, it was never going to work.
And it's got a few other actors that were in Halloween. It has there's one bit in the film where Jamie Lee Curtis does a voice in the film. She's known for doing that. Actually, I think she did some voice work in Escape from New York, didn't she as well? She does like a voice over a Tannoy system. But also Nancy Keys, I think she was called, she was in Halloween. She played Annie, one of the babysitters in Halloween. She's in this. She was in a few John Carpenter films like Assault on Precinct 13 and The Fog. She was the one that got killed in the car by Michael Myers in the first film. She was the daughter of whoever was the sheriff from that. But she's in this. I think she plays like a much older woman in this because they've like greyed her hair. She was only like 30, I think, from what I understand. But she plays the wife of Tom Atkins. She's only got like a bit part in it.
Well, I mean, better really like aging like a 30-year-old to play an older role than having a 30-year-old just play like a teenager like they used to do.
Oh yeah, yeah, that
Like, yeah, I completely believe they're still in school. I mean, they'd have to be set back quite a few times, but whatever.
Yeah. One thing I do remember quite well about this film is the opening like bit where it's got the like he was really well done with that thing at the beginning of the film with the credits. At work, I do actually have the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch like logo on my computer with the yellow lines, just as my work desktop on my computer, because it just looks really cool and thematic because it's Halloween.
Halloween,
like
tough as a bitch. I mean, Season of the Witch.
And Corey's angry.
Yeah, he does not like that. Like, why am I a bitch? Like, well, Topher, because you are one. I'm sorry.
To be fair. But there were a few films called Season of the Witch because there was that Nicolas Cage one.
Another
George
not great film.
Yeah, there was a George Romero one as well that he did in the 70s, completely unconnected. There's probably others, so there you go. But yeah, we don't want to flog a dead horse anyway. I think that's pretty much all there is to say about this film. So,
if you're bored, give it a try. Just bear in mind your mileage may massive. Like, you like it, I don't. And I don't really think either of us have got like a strong argument against the other.
Yeah, I think I'm going to save this film. I'm going to watch it this year because normally I would watch the Halloween movies. But of course, I'm a bit too demoralised by the fact that Halloween Kills got delayed, so we're not going to see it this year. And I think if I was to watch the other films, well, the first one and the 2018 one, it'd kind of just be like bittersweet that I've got those films to watch, but at the same time, it'd be like sad that we didn't get to see the new one. So I'm going to stick with Halloween 3 this year and just kind of have a bit of a sulk. So yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, well, tomorrow is Halloween itself, so we're going to come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Our video is going to go up tomorrow. Say what we're going to talk about tomorrow. We're keeping it John Carpenter related. We're going to do a review of one of my favourite films, not just horror films, not just John Carpenter films, one of my top 5 films, and that is The Thing, from the same year as this, 1982. We're going to have to break it down into 2 parts because we've got like quite a lot to say. So possibility of a bonus video as well, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. One more day to Halloween. Silver Shamrock.
Yeah.
Don't forget your masks and watch the adverts. That's the most important thing.
Well, Buff was wearing a mask, but I think that was to protect him from Topher. And he was like shouting, "Stop it, stop it, stop it," or something on the phone.
But Topher misheard and thought he was yelling, "Jerk it, jerk it, jerk it."
Yeah, that's how it ended, yeah.
Tragic, really. Miscommunication.
And on that note, we will leave it there. So yeah, see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Halloween special. We're talking about The Thing. We'll see you there.
Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horror-thon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween,